So, after a very successful first podcast with my spiritual buddies that I have met on this journey, with whom I always felt called to have these conversations recorded, to have these conversations documented, because every time we meet, there was always some creative flow that was taking over, and things beyond what we imagined or what we might have actually explored so far started to come out. So that's the reason why every time I used to think about doing podcasts, it took a long journey, and finally I'm here. We did the very first podcast this week, Tuesday. Go check it out if you haven't yet. It's very powerful, it's very energizing. And on that same note, this one guest I've been planning for so long. She's an ardent Krishna Bhakt, but it will be no less if I told that she's also a Shivji Bhakt. Just want you to free flow into this conversation. Just before this podcast, we just connected and we just asked each other, should we even have an agenda that we want to cover? And both decided that let's just free flow, nothing in mind. So, interestingly, it took turns, it went into places that we didn't even imagine. I didn't even imagine going into. So, raw, unfiltered, I'm not going to cut anything. So after this, whatever is the conversation we had was also very intense, which lays the foundation for the next podcast. So happy watching. I will see you on the other side. Hari Om. Started rolling and yeah. So welcome Sheetalji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Nice
So
t-shirt you're wearing for this
yeah,
conversation. I love it.
thank you. Because um like we just spoke before we started recording. For me, although I have a feeling that this entire conversation is going to revolve around Krishna a lot, because the first time we met, like the first time after we met at a retreat, and then after we came out of the retreat, and the first place we went to was, in Rishikesh, that ashram. And then I saw that your complete, your devotion towards Krishna, right? Like, that was very intense. And then slowly, every conversation with you was opening up some thing about Krishna, and that's why I was always saying that okay, let's you know record it, document it, because I felt like there was a lot flowing through you. And at one point, I was very much convinced that Shivji, or that deity that I look forward to, is trying to make me go through this phase of my life where I'm embracing the Krishna energy. And literally, I was there in Kirtans every evening, that phase. Like it's still there. Right now, there is always something that makes me surrender. So I feel like this phase is where, like Shivji is bringing me very close to Krishna, and he's making me realize that, um, everything is the same. Like this was one learning from the
Exactly.
Shivratri sadhana
Can I,
also, that,
on
yeah,
this note, I would like to share a story.
yeah, please go ahead. It's all yours.
So, once it was Ganeshji's birthday, okay? And Parvati Mata is throwing a feast. And she's
Wow.
called everyone. Everyone's like, you have to come and all. And then Vishnuji, he was busy with something or the other. He's a busy man. So he told his gun that, you guys go and represent me over there. Okay, because I cannot make it. So then these guys were like, the rishis were like, yes, yes, of course, sir. हम तो जाएंगे. So then they went to Kailash. And then now there is one problem. Now you've gone for a dinner or like for a feast, and now they don't eat without doing darshan of Vishnuji.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now they're like, now Parvati Mata is asking us to eat, and now we can't eat, and it will be disrespectful to her. So now they feel like, they're in a moral dilemma now, what to do. both bosses now, whom to say no to now, what to do now. So they are in a conundrum, they are thinking. And then Parvati Mata says, you know what, it's Ganeshji's birthday. First you go wish him, and then you can come and eat. So they were
Yeah.
like, of course. She's like, he's going, he's just gone to his room, he's trying to like rest a bit. But you can go, it's fine. You're anyways the last of people who've come. You go, you wish him and come. And then they went inside the room, and as soon as they enter the room, they see Vishnu lying down.
Yeah.
And then they took, obviously, they took blessings and all. And then when they came out, they see Parvati Mata. And then they look back, and then they see Ganesha.
Oh wow.
And then when they look in the front, instead of Parvati Mata, it's Vishnuji. So now, no
Oh,
matter where they're looking, it's him.
oh, oh.
So now, the essence of this story is that the energies are the same.
Mm.
They just, matlab, it's like, one particular thing, and you're just customizing it based upon circumstances, based upon your personality, based upon what is required for you in life. So, as you were saying that, you're being pushed into
Yeah.
Krishna consciousness,
Yeah.
maybe it's because you require his playfulness,
Yeah.
his smartness, his intellect, his wonderful way of just not taking anything seriously because everything is cyclic. And he has
Wow.
seen all of this 1,000 times.
Wow. So I was just thinking the first question that came to me was do you think when we say it's the same energy, looking at it from a quantum point of view, yes, it is all the same energy. So is it the same energy playing out through different um, planes in our body or chakras in our body that is giving us different experiences? Or I feel like it's also these individualized energies are also there which with which you can interact. For example, um, Krishna ji, his energy is one thing for sure, and then Shivji's energy externally is one thing for sure. Like when I go and sit in front of a shivling, that energy is like just takes me inwards and
Hmm.
makes me very meditative. When I sit in front of Krishna ji, it's a very, like you said, that playful, joyful, and that love and that bulk, immediate opening of the heart happens.
Yeah.
So is it like Shivji is when that energy, that divine force is working through your um, Agnya chakra or through your forehead, or is it when it comes to your heart, it becomes Krishna? Like, have you? What has been your experience? Because I've seen you being completely into Shivji also and Krishnaji also. That's why I felt like this question came immediately. Is it like the chakras that are deciding all of this?
So I don't know much about the chakras, very honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them, but I do know a little bit about psychology.
Wow.
So I can talk from that perspective, and that is that yes, maybe they work through different chakras, or maybe, as I was saying earlier, that when you go to any deity, first of all, you can't go without their permission.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
You need that permission to even set foot in a temple, be it
Yeah.
any temple, be it to remember God in itself is a gratefulness in this yoga, firstly. Secondly, we're super blessed that, we are confused between these two amazing deities, wherein I'm not even gonna talk about Ma, but
But I would
with
love to.
I would love to bring Ma into this. So you go there. So two aspects, okay? Now with Krishna, he is love. He
Hmm.
is his whole thing, his whole USP is love. His Priye is Radha. Radha was literally like her, the purpose of Radha's birth was love. She was born so that Krishna can love someone more, like equal to him, because we can never be equal to him. When you say Radha, she is the dhara which leads you to Krishna. That's the
And
essence
Dara
of
means
Radha. Dhara
Dara.
means flow.
Oh,
So when you say Radha, the opposite, like the reverse of Radha is Dhara,
yeah.
right? So Krishna has a lot to do with love and devotion. He is one of those gods जो आप मतलब आप बस प्यार से मुस्कुरा दो उनके साथ यार वो आपके साथ वैसा ही व्यवहार करेंगे उनका वाइब ये है ही इज दैट फ्रेंड if you with a pure heart you just call him out he'll be like yes I'm here for you with Shiva is a yogi. He's a yogi who has a family. He lives in dualities. Shiva's entire essence, his form which we worship is filled with dualities. He has sun, he has moon in his eyes. He has poison, and then he has Ganga on his head.
Wow.
He lives. He lives like that. Now, when we talk about us feeling different things when we're sitting in front of these people, I mean, how can we not? When you go to your mom, you have a different feeling. When you go to your dad, you have a different feeling. But it's not that you love anyone less, na?
Ah,
Sometimes you feel like you need your mom more. Sometimes you feel like you need your dad more. Similarly, sometimes you feel like you need Krishna more. Sometimes you feel like you need Shiva more. So they are our essence. They are our parents in like all meanings. In any perspective, they are the life givers and sustainers and destroyers. They are all of it. So to go in front of them and to feel this in itself is a blessing. But yes, for everybody, I think it holds a very different meaning. With Krishna, because उनका बाल काल देखा है, उनका फिर teenage देखा, the way he became a king, then the way he became a kingmaker, and then how he made that whole Mahabharat happen, and then how he even eased it off, and how his own death he planned. It's wonderful. With Krishna, it's easier for many people to connect, is because throughout his life's journey, we know. With Shiva, I don't know any, at least right now, there's no childhood which I know of about Shiv. So with Krishna, that's why the playfulness is there, the mischief is there, because you heard about his Leelas as a Gopal. So it's easier to connect with him. It's easier to love him like a child. It's easier to think of him as a friend. And with Shiva, it's easier to look at him as a father, as somebody who is going to guide us, who's going to mentor us, who's going to never ever want, like Krishna would neither, but like a father, how a father is so protective and so, like, they'll be strict with us, but if anybody is harming us, I mean, God save that person.
So how do you connect all of this with um, psychology? And you can share your own journey with psychology. But before that, I don't know why I feel like, is there some chant you want to bring into this podcast? Make me also chant if you feel like. Because I remember the first time we were out of the retreat, also the very first evening at the ashram, you sang beautifully, both Shiva and both Krishna. Like,
So, as we were talking about them as a family and as all of it, let's do Tvameva Mata.
yeah, anything. Like, if you want me to call, you can call and you want me to
And we
follow
can do it
along.
together. You know this, right? Tvameva Mata, Shapata Tvameva.
I'm very new.
Okay, you can follow what I
Yeah,
say.
awesome.
Okay? Tvameva Mata, Shapata Tvameva,
त्वमेव माता ततत्वा त्वमेव
Shapata Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhu, Sakha Tvameva,
त्वमेव बन्धो स्वता त्वमेव
Tvameva Vidya, Dravidam Tvameva,
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव
Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva.
त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
I'll tell you the meaning of it.
I was
So
waiting to ask. Please.
yeah, I know. So basically, what it means is you are my father, you are my mother, you are my friend, you are my family. You are knowledge, and you are the knowledge giver. You are everything, my great, great, great Lord.
I just resonate a lot with the last line.
Sorry, I
No,
cannot
why?
hear you.
I just resonate a lot with
Oh,
the
now I
last
can hear you.
line. Yeah. And
Hmm.
it just took me to a whole new dimension. And I love that we are doing this session on a BITEC way. Like, I feel like back then, this is how the knowledge was shared, right? Like, whether it was within uh, a student and a teacher or within friends, there was always grounding in our culture where we sit down like this and then we share the knowledge. Am I audible now?
Yes, exactly. Give
Yeah.
me 1 second because my earpods go.
Yeah, yeah. Take a moment.
Okay. Okay, I figured it out. I'm so sorry. I'm very bad with technology. And
No, you're doing amazing. Your signal is good, and I'm getting good reception. So it's all going great. Yeah.
okay. So one thing, one thing I would like when we went to the ashram, the question you have right now is something even I had, and I met Vanamali Ma, right?
Yeah.
And I asked her this. I told her, Ma, I am so confused on whom do I actually want to worship and who's my deity.
Wow.
And she really laughed.
Okay.
And on one level, I think I always knew it because the with any deity, you feel so much love and such emotions,
Yeah.
because it's them. So I asked her, I was like, I feel amazing. As you said, with Krishna, sometimes I feel like, I require that love and I require a more like a friend vibe.
Yeah.
And then when I want to do my sadhana and I want to, when like progress more and be more meditative and things like that, at that time I feel more called to Shiva.
Mm.
So psychology comes here in this way that I have some set goals. I have a set mindset of which deity is like what. And then
Okay.
through my life as I'm progressing, of course every day brings new challenges. It is a things happen and you obviously if circumstances are happening, you're going to have certain emotions to it.
Yeah.
And then how you deal with it really
Wow.
matters of where you stand in terms of your mindset, in terms of your sadhana, in terms of a lot of other things, right? So how strong are you mentally?
Mm.
And then you get called out, like you get called out to that particular deity because you feel like sometimes like I cannot do Bhairav Puja. I cannot.
Yeah.
I can't do Ma Kali's puja also because when I look at her, I feel, first of all, I feel scared, which is ridiculous because she's my mother.
Yeah.
But it's a very Rudra form, na?
Yeah.
And it's
Intent.
fearsome. So, how much am I going to be able to even harness that energy that I'm receiving from the deity is also
Yeah.
something to be taken into consideration.
Mm.
Then your own childhood, your home, whom your parents have worshipped, how have they worshipped, what is the meaning of religion and spirituality where you grew up.
Mm.
So, environmental factors, social factors, cultural factors, your own education, your own life education, and moreover, most importantly, the deity's permission.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's all like an amalgamation, and life isn't just one thing.
Mm.
To be here and to enjoy all these, as I was mentioning, I don't know if you remember about like Mahashivratri. I wrote something, and then in that I
Yeah.
felt like a lot of gratefulness to even be able to take his name,
Mm.
to even be able to take and to be confused, Varneshwar, to be confused in these wonderful deities is in itself a blessing. To want to worship Krishna, to want to worship Shiva, to want to worship Ma. I mean, how lucky are we? We're spoiled for choices.
Yeah.
It's truly a blessing, I feel, to be able to do this.
Yeah, like something is coming back to what you said towards the very end, that without the deities, you know, role in this entire Leela or in this entire play where we're thinking about this god, we're thinking about this entity, we're thinking about their sadhana, we are doing their sadhana, and we are meeting people of that. Um, for example, how we met. The very first time we met, we felt like, yeah, this is like some soul connection. So it just didn't feel like we're meeting for the first time. So I feel like all of this is something beyond our uh, limited ego can even fathom and put into logic. Right?
We are in even like now, even psychology and therapy, since I'm learning all that, they are finally also realizing that very, very little is in our control. Very,
Uh,
very little. The only thing that is in our control is what we do.
hmm.
This morning itself, it's funny. Okay, so this morning itself, I was reading Krishna Leela because it is Thursday and I read Krishna Leela on Thursday.
I just had it just in case.
I have to.
The Leela is in progress.
I always have it very close by.
Wow.
I am surrounded by Krishna and Shiva all the time. Thankfully, God bless. I don't want to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Like the
I was
very place
reading.
name you stay is in his name, right? Like,
Yeah, Brij Bhavan.
yeah, Vishwa.
It was keeping him in mind that through him there is everything, no? And I feel blessed that I grew up in a home. It's a joint family, so one of the elders is a like my mom. She's a very ardent Shiva Bhakt. Matlab,
Oh, wow.
wow.
We've
Every day
spoken.
Abhishekam, every day this, every day that.
Okay.
And then my aunt, my bua, she's a very, very ardent Krishna Bhakt.
Oh, wow.
So, and my father is a Hanuman Bhakt.
Oh, wow. Jai Hanuman.
So I feel like God has blessed me enough to let me be born in this house,
Yeah.
wherein it is so rare, especially I have seen, I didn't even know, but in like since I've started meeting a lot of people and talking about religion and spirituality and God and what it means, I am realizing that people are not this blessed. They are being born in houses where people don't even care about Shiva and Krishna.
Yeah.
And for us to be born in households where our God is placed above everybody else is a blessing. Because once you actually truly understand God, the first thing that you will understand is that there is no difference in human beings. Once you understand that कोई भी आप लीला उठा के देख लो, any anyone, anyone, there are literally infinite leelas. Pick up anyone. The only common thing that you will find is love and devotion. Pick any leela. There is either love or there is devotion, and they are both sides of the same coin. Without devotion, you cannot have love, and without love, you cannot have devotion.
That just pulls me to two things. Number one is my very first memory. I don't know why. Interestingly, I don't have much memories from my childhood. The very first memory I have of my entire childhood is seeing a sibling which is near my home, and then feeling that devotion and love. You know, those two words just was just reminding me to that memory. Some deep connection like goosebumps, and even right now, I don't even have to go to that place. But when I just think about that memory, it opens up something to me. And I also feel like that love and devotion will be tested through in all and out, right? Like over here in this earthly plane, you will be put in situations, put with people who will constantly see if you can touch that love and devotion every time you forget and move away from it. Do you think that as a concept, is that how the Leela unfolds?
That we're being tested.
Yeah, every time we move away from that love and devotion,
Yeah,
right?
100%. 100%. I think that we are one is if we think at any given point of time कि वाह इससे ज्यादा प्यार तो हम कर ही नहीं सकते ना ही हम हमारे से ज्यादा कोई और प्यार कर सकता है
Hmm.
पहले फटका पड़ेगा me
Hmm.
and how much you trust me and how much faith you have in me. Let's see now.
Yeah,
First thing that will happen is that, and if you are not learning your lessons and you're not realizing that, buddy, relax, chill a little. First of all, you know, Matlab, look at the Bhakt. My God, look at Hanumanji, look at Narad Muni, look at Mirabai. What minusculity life you're living, first of all, on Instagram, on Snapchat all the time, WhatsApping people, and then remembering God in that 130 minutes time. So, pehle to realize that you're loving this giant ocean, okay? And then you're just this one droplet. Now, one droplet is saying, yeah, I can love as much as the ocean. First of all, how is that possible?
wow.
Yes, you can definitely be mixed into it. You cannot match the volume. No? God is always going to love more than you are able to love Him. And if you love somebody, the first rule is that you want to see them grow.
Yeah,
So if you are being tested and if you're being challenged, it's for your own benefit. Because how else will you grow? Do you know any other way that you can grow without pain?
yeah. Like even if I get an insight, I need to put that to action. And while putting that into action, there will be a lot of challenges, a lot of pain, a lot of, I can't say like, there is all roses, it's all the thorns towards the rose.
That's the trick, na, Varuneshwar. That is the trick that once you've really, really embedded the thought that everything is Leela, and everything that is happening is for my own benefit, then the thorns are not as painful.
Mm.
They're there, but they're slightly blunt.
Wow. Because you just have a harder um, skin now. Like you have an armor to your skin now, not harder. Just an armor
Mhm.
um, that can.
Yeah, maybe we could use this metaphor only as I was talking about an ocean and all.
Yeah.
When you think that there's a flow to the ocean, correct?
Yeah.
Now, when you think that you're in the ocean and you want to go up there, okay, just so 5 kilometers, and you're like, I'll go upwards and I will reach my destination because in my head that's a shortcut. Okay, so now I'm going against the current. Rather, if I flow
Yeah.
with the ocean, will my journey not be slightly easier, even if a little longer?
Yeah.
So similarly, if you're thinking that, this world is conspiring against me, God doesn't want me to have my dreams, He is not letting me, He's creating these challenges, and He doesn't love me, it's gonna hurt, na, brother. It's going to it's gonna be like, कि क्या चल रहा है ये? Whereas if you look at true love, then you only want the best. You don't want anything other than the best for the person you love. Best you can do. है ना?
That's true.
Am I visible? Am my network bent?
I can't see you now, but right here I want to. Yeah,
Huh.
can see you now. Right here, because you use the word true love. I don't
I
know,
knew it
like.
was a trap. I knew it was gonna come.
Although I wanted to, really understand Krishna Leela and all that, right now I feel like relationships. I want to.
Arey, what I'll say about relationship.
Because,
Oh my God, that's I think I can talk about relationships though.
yeah, because I feel like in this journey of life, everything else can, hit you to a point, but the hardest hits come from relationships, right? Like
So you mean
financial.
romantic relationships? But I have a different thought process. I think that the hardest ones are, with your family because, you can't really break up with them and be done.
Let's talk about breakups.
Let's talk about breakup. What do you want? Yeah, what do you want to talk about? I am ready for this.
So, in my own personal journey, I've had a couple of more breakups, but the place where I was rejected, that's where I had the maximum growth. The places where um, I just moved on, or I lost interest, or something just didn't work out and something else was working out, and then the relationship just shifted. I feel I was still living within my own bubble, or probably just taking that same old patterns into the next relationship. But when I was rejected and said that I'm not good enough for that relationship, for that person, I think that's where a huge amount of my growth happened. And I've all of this that I've built myself up to, which is nothing without the deity's um, grace. But I feel like breakups are essential again, right? Like we even rejection is very essential, and but at the same time, not taking the aggressive part of it and throwing it around in the world is also important. That uh,
Hmm.
you just channelize it towards your growth and um, make use of it for your own progress. So, what has been your journey with breakups? Have you ever been rejected by someone, or you have rejected someone and they grew out also, or they just crashed down? And what would be
Okay.
you can close it by saying what would be that one thing you want to take it forward with me? Like, what should I take forward as I move forward? Because I've never been on the other side. Like, why would a woman reject a man? Like, if the relationship was true, or when do you know that the relationship is just like a not that unconditional relationship, or every relationship has its own conditions? So I'm just opening up
There is a lot you're asking.
so many aspects to it. So wherever you want to take the flow and you want to further go down, I just feel called to take it this way. Yeah. Or we can just shift it
Oh,
to Krishna and see
cool.
how Krishna
No, no,
handles
no,
it.
no. How
So,
Krishna doesn't get rejected, buddy.
why
He's
is
in all
one
of us.
man given so much power?
He's in all of us. There's no rejection when there is just
Uh,
him all over. How are you rejecting your own self? So anyway, uh,
this should be the title of this podcast. How can you reject yourself?
so I think that the essence of what you were trying to say is
Yeah,
that the most growth happens when a person is heartbroken, or when a person is beaten down, or when they feel that everything that they knew, like life as they knew it, is over.
yeah,
Number one is one chapter ends, another one begins.
yeah,
When life as you know it is over, it provides you with this opportunity to begin anew, to leave the things out which don't work for you, to bring things in which might, to explore. So that is one key aspect, which is why a lot of growth you'll see in people, it happens after a traumatic time.
yeah,
You like so many stories of cancer patients, of near-death experiences, of breakups, of not working out with the family, जॉब नहीं चली, कोई भी चीज, कोई भी इंसान वो तभी बनेगा यार जब वो टूटेगा, क्योंकि breaking down builds strength. That's the thing. When you mine steel, it's not this way, na? When you put it in the fire and you hit it and you mold it, and if it is still not the way you like it, you have to put it in the fire again. That's the journey. Then, secondly, you asked why is it like that? It's because if you do not have heartbreak, you'll also never have happiness. There are ways, okay? We as humans can get used to things pretty quickly. Very adaptable creatures. That's why it's
Mm.
easier for us to even stay in discomfort because it's uncomfortable only for some time. But once you're left in it for a longer period of time, like how people when they get posted to like these harsh conditions, these
Yeah.
army people and defense people, when you talk to them, they're like, it was difficult only for like 15 days, 20 days, 1 month. But then they've been there for years. So then they get used to that life. No, there's no other way.
Mm.
So now, if you're used to this certain life, and then if you want to change, then you have to close this chapter, no? You have to leave it. You have to go again. If I want to reach, if I want to reach, say, your house, and if I don't ever want to leave my house, even if teleportation is invented, okay, even if that is invented, I will have to do some sort of action and I will still have to leave this place. So to be constant and to have growth and to have change and to be in movement, you have to have rejection. You have to feel all of the emotions, which generally nobody wants to feel. But जब जब तक आप नीचे नहीं जाएंगे, कैसे आओगे? बताओ. If you don't go down, you can't come up. Even if you are say here, okay, कितना time you will stay here? You'll get bored in your life at one point of time. Even if you've come from here, then you go here, then you go here, then you go here. That's the way life goes. If constantly you're here, what life is that? Imagine you felt only one type of way throughout your life. Forget life. Imagine if you didn't feel a different emotion in one day. One day.
I would love to stay like that happy, but that's not the case.
But then again,
Yeah.
but then that would be your baseline, no?
Yeah.
Even in happiness, you have varying degrees.
Yeah.
You have this happy, this happy, this happy, then this happy. Wow.
Yeah.
Then itna happy if all the time you are, and that's your normal state. Which is how I know it is your normal state now, which is a great thing. It is my normal state as well. Like I'm good
Yeah.
constantly,
Yeah.
but I want to be better. Then I also get worse. Then again, I want to be better. Sometimes my emotions are different. Sometimes I'm full in gratitude. Imagine you never felt gratitude.
Wow.
There's just one thing that is that you need to, even if you don't want it to, things are going to change. It is because every little thing is constantly in motion. Every single thing. It's just that we aren't really aware of it, or we choose to ignore it. We choose to live in ignorance, which is fine. But if we expect, things never change, then that's not going to happen. सुबह तो होगी, दोपहर भी होगी, शाम भी होगी और रात भी होगी। उसको तो हम नहीं रोक सकते। तो चीजें तो बदलेंगी और समय भी चलेगा। So I would like to close this by saying if you do want things not to change, then you have to walk the path. And if you want to walk the path, then you have to be ready because it is going to be filled with tests, challenges. You're going to be beaten down, you're going to get heartbroken, but you're going to feel bliss, gratitude, love, belonging, safety, faith, hope. We are dual creatures with both of these things within us. We have Krishna, we have Shiva, and most importantly, we have our life, which is Ma, who runs all.
I feel like we hit the maximum for
The
this first
what,
episode.
na?
Yeah, but it's a beautiful natural closure. Like I wanted to explore so many things, but very fulfilling. And if I could just work on this, I wanted to talk about your psychology. I wanted to talk about Krishna's life and how we can relate to
Ah,
it.
so you're also here. I'm also here. We'll just do this again.
Yeah. So anybody who watched it until now, just know that we will flow again. Maybe we
People
will
are
flow
watching this.
not now.
I'm
It's
not
it,
joking.
I'm saying
Say
if
hello to
somebody
anyone.
had the patience. It was a prank, Peter. Everybody's watching. No, I'm just
Oh, I
kidding.
see.
So, anybody who actually had the patience to watch until here, just know that we just tilled the soil. I feel like there is a lot more to understand, and I really love the perspective that you brought about that if you want that ananda or that eternal thing, then these changes are going to be intense. You're going to be feeling it more intense. Next episode, I want to start with why do people don't want to grow? We'll just leave it here.
Honey, you want to start with that right now.
No.
We will see how you feel that day.
So I'm just putting it out and let's see whenever and wherever we come together and channel out
I
this
know there's
space.
so much to talk about now. I feel like we've not done anything.
Yeah, we've not done anything. Yeah, that's true. I can continue, but I just felt like
Nee,
you
that
know,
part, we'll close it at that and then we can just talk right now. We can just edit it.
yeah, yeah. I will stop the recording and it will be done. So, any
Yeah.
closing notes you want to share? So,
Any closing notes is that I would like to share is if up until now, wow, amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have done it. I'm very happy that one person also, if they watch, is good. I
yeah,
think that things naturally will happen, and I feel grateful to be able to talk about all this and
yeah,
to have a friend like you who
yeah,
takes these initiatives and is making me really push my boundaries because
yeah,
I know I'm generally feel like I feel like I'm a very social person who would love social media, but I am a social person, but I do not love social media that much. Nor do I like
Wow,
being on there. So,
wow.
um, to do this is really, um,
Pushing yourself a little bit more because out here,
yes,
even I'm pushing myself a lot because this is the first time
you're
one.
doing wonderful work. My God, I have not even started. Next episode, I would like to hear from you because as much as you're trying to portray me as this some Gyani sort of a person, I'm not. Whereas you, on the other hand,
Kadak Sadak bros.
you on the other hand is like, I have no words. So thank you so much, Varuneshwar. Since I've met you in my life, it's all been so nice, and I feel so good that I have you in my life.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much,
Thank you for
Sheetal.
giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity because this is my very first one-to-one. The previous podcast that we recorded was like a three-person thing, so it was just flowing between us. Here, I was getting dropped into various mind frames, and then we just did it impromptu, right? Like there was no agenda to this conversation, and that's how I loved it because we moved into relationships, into so many new territories that was not even there consciously because I was thinking it's going to be a. And I just want to close with one thing that um, that kirtan in Mumbai, the largest kirtan that has happened so far, like exactly this conversation has happened for that reason, I guess. I just, after dancing for so long, I just sat down and then the kirtan was still going on. And I was just feeling intensely like one half was Krishna and one half was Shiva. And that emergence was happening between them in my own person. So, as crazy as it sounds, um, it was as beautiful as it was. And I feel this conversation is a blessing. And you have been placed with their,
I just got a thought.
yeah,
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but
no,
maybe this intense um, energies which are combining in you is like a sign that you are because you are a very disciplined person and you're
yeah,
very serious about it. Maybe it's a sign that you can do
yeah.
the sadhana and you can be disciplined, but you can also add a lot of playfulness, a lot of mischief, and a little bit of love
This
in
is
it.
this is the second person from the morning who's saying this. So I think this is a real indication from the universe.
Maybe you should wait for a third.
If there is a third, then I'm pouncing on it. I'm doing more
then
fine.
then then you gotta call me. You gotta call me and be like, oh my God, this happened.
Yeah, that's for sure, Peter. So once again, there's a lot I want to talk after this. So we'll just officially close. Um, we'll just do a prayer for world peace, and the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, right?
I will follow you.
Okay. Close your eyes. Inhale, exhale. Center yourself. Come to the heart. You are already all the heart. Unconditional love your way, Sita. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
I could not hear you. The
Sorry.
network went.
Yeah, I'll begin again. Om Loka samasta
Om Loka Samasta
sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino Bhavantu.
Loka samasta
Loka Samasta
sukhino bhavantu.
Sukhino Bhavantu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, Sheetal.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you.